If all members of the Appropriations Subcommittee would be up here now, we will get started. For those of you who were expecting to see economic development in here, that will start as soon as we finish this quick Appropriations Subcommittee meeting. Higher Ed starts after economic development. And I don't know what comes after that. Does everybody... They're here monitoring us. Does everybody have a revised track sheet? Okay. There have been a few changes since we last went through this, but we will go rather quickly and highlight the changes where there are changes from the governor's recommendation. Beginning on page 5, which is the pre-K program, which if you listen to the governor's proposal the other day, you know pretty much what this budget is. It funds 160 days of 6.5-hour pre-K with which achieves the savings of $52 million, just a little over $52 million. It includes the elimination of the transition coaches and the governor's books. It would include the addition of 2,000 slots, and then there is on line 21.3.17 or 7. What is it? 7. You see a slight change in salary cost. All those together achieve the $54.5 million worth of savings that the governor has requested. Any questions on that? If not, we'll go on to page 6, beginning with agriculture education 23.1.1. The governor's recommendation was for an 8% cut. We have put a proposal forth that has a 4% cut, a cut of $321,000 in ag ed. Go down now to 23.5, curriculum development. You see that the cut is eliminated. That would the cut to the Galileo funding, so Galileo is in. And then on 23.5.2, DOE has agreed to a reduction in their part of curriculum development of $110,000. If you have a question, don't hesitate to stop me. 23.9.1, Georgia Youth Science and Technology Centers. Instead of a $150,000 cut, it will now be a $6,000 cut. 23.13.4, the grant supplemental grants for residential treatment centers. That cut has been reduced to $38,701. This is approximately a 1% reduction. Representative Amerson, are you smiling?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Preschool handicap 23.15.1. It was slated for a 1% reduction, but in view of the several-year history of declining enrollment, we've increased that to a 2% reduction of $574,851. 23.19.3. This is the Quality Basic Education Program, and that particular line includes a number of things. It is the enrollment growth funding, midterm adjustment reserves, T&E factor. There are some reductions in that. As you recall, we talked about the charter system grants, the $100 per FTE. that we will apply the austerity reduction that is in place for all other QBE programs to that, and that achieves some of that savings. And then also there is an add at 23.19.4 for Move On When Ready funding as per House Bill 149 from the 2009 session of right out of $500,000. That will open up slots for 182 students. Okay. There's the $113,000 reduction on line 23.19.5. This is retirement funds that relate to individuals who are in a local system who are in a TRS qualified position but are remaining as a member of ERS. We are asking that local systems pick up the cost for those people that are in their system rather than the state trying to fund it. In most cases, that's less than $1,000 for a system. Regional Education Service Agencies, RESAs, 23.20.1, the Technology Ed Tech Centers, the $1.5 million reduction has been changed to an 8% reduction of $120,000. And on line 23.20.3, the core service reduction has been changed to a 8% reduction also, which drops it to $482,000. Everybody okay still? School improvement, 23.21.1. We've increased the reduction there to $730,000. DOE has said that they will be able to deal with that. School nurses, the reduction proposed by the governor was a 10% reduction. We are reducing that to a 4% reduction, so it will be, instead of $2.7 million, it will be just slightly over $1 million. Severely emotionally disturbed SED program on 23.23.1. Again, that was slated to be a 1% reduction because of several years of declining enrollments. We have increased that to a 2% reduction. State interagency transfers. Similar to what we did in the 11 amended budget, where we broke out the interagency transfers for state health benefit plan, we'll be doing the same thing in the FY12 budget. That's a little change from what we had talked about earlier. State schools. You see the two ads there. Physical fitness at Georgia School for the Deaf at $9,000, and then 23.25.3, the T&E, applying the T&E factor for the three state schools, an add of $309,189. Uh, 23.27 testing. DOE says they anticipate savings based on activity with the high school graduation tests, and so we have reflected a $250,000 reduction in the testing line. That's all of the DOE section. Are there any questions about any of those? Okay, if you look on page 10 of 11, line 24.3.1, Public School Employees Retirement System. This is to increase the funds to the level required for the latest actuarial report, and it's at an add of $8,375,000. Let's see, nothing on 11. You should have You should have a page 1 of 1. On the Georgia Professional Standards Commission, we put it through with the governor's recommendation in the Office of Student Achievement on line 26.10.5. You can see a 1% reduction of $9,082. That is the recommendations. Yes, sir.
On the teachers of the public school PSERS, now last year I believe that was taken out. It was a little over $5 million or so. I think we lost in the Senate last year. You gonna fight to keep that in there this year?
I think that it was taken out of the 11. So
it was taken out this year. It was taken out of the 11. I know to move it into 12, but I thought last year, year before, when in the budget, we lost like $5 million or so.
Local tax officials?
No, this was the PSERSers. Did we not fund that one year? Isn't that why we're having to fund extra this year, or in the 11 budget?
For PSERS, the governor had originally put the money in the amended budget.
Right.
And we've taken that out and we're putting it
Put it
in
in
the
the 12.
base to properly
Right.
reflect it. I think the other issue is for local tax officials and revenue. That's where the majority of the base was cut
Okay.
in FY11, and we've also addressed that too in
Okay.
the public revenue budget.
Thank you.
any more questions? Chair would entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
I'm assuming that's a motion to pass.
Absolutely. Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like. Motion carries. We will take this to the full committee, which will meet at 7:30 on Thursday. Attendance is mandatory, is what I'm told. Not for y'all.
For the economic development people, it's not mandatory.
Right. If you're here for economic development, you don't have to be to the appropriations meeting. That'll adjourn this meeting. And economic development, is Chairman Stevens come in yet? Okay.